I've always been kind of a rebel in a kind of funny, subtle way, you know. No, this is Vanina Zandonina, and that's actually was her real name. And she um, came from Brazil. She was Italian, and it was the first time I paid a model. I felt like I have now become an artist because she was in my state. So that painting has been hanging in that place for 19 years. You have to get to it. And so these are all kind of in the first couple of years more. And then these are big abstract paintings. And then there are more over there. And then there are all these little ones. And then I also was a printmaker for a certain period of time. So these are collagraphs. They're like, I worked with the Bob Blackburn Printmaking Workshop. I don't know if you know, it's one of the most prominent printmaking workshops. And these are some of the prints. So it was a collograph, and then this was probably an early drawing, or early painting. And this is a monoprint, and this is a collograph. And then these are all monoprints. Well, I was a member of Women Make Prints, which was when I was in New York, and we went to Russia and had an exhibit in Russia. So that group went all over the country. I mean, we didn't personally go, but our work did. So okay. I wasn't. So there's a whole series of this kind, where, and then I also was a group. Is this the one? This is where every plate is a different color. I was one of those people who liked to try everything, so it's like technique was as much like this was another thing of this. This may have been the tree that I had this experience that was I told you, but I didn't tell them, right? Where the tree told me I wanted to draw a tree, and the tree said, "Put down your pencils. You're very arrogant." And so I thought, what is this? Anyway, so I put down the thing, and then I went into a trance, you could say, or something. And the tree had me go up into it, and go down into it, and go down into the base of it. And it was a wonderful experience because it talked about the tree isn't what you see, it's your interaction with the tree. So that's what I wanted to paint more. And so I did for quite a while. I invented the tool that was used for this. This is aluminum foil, that I pressed, that I supported with glue, and then mounted it on cardboard or something. And then while it was still damp, you draw into the aluminum foil. And then you let it dry, and then you can run it through a press, just like an etching. And so I went crazy loving to do that. So this was a whole period. That's more the same. Okay. I mean, that was the technique that I got involved in. And so there are other ones. Let's shoot. In any of this thing, you can make circles, you can make people. I have some plates that are really huge. So the Sienese artists, I don't know if you know, but they drew into metal, which was then, so it was a similar technique. Only theirs was not. It was gold. I mean, it was much more wasn't aluminum foil. I went with some friends. They went to Chile, and we went to take ayahuasca, and we went for a 2 week journey. And I didn't know what I was doing. I wasn't a drug taker, at all. I mean, I tried everything once, maybe, and that was it. So, but I had an impulse that I should go, and there were other people going, and I thought, yeah, that'll be something to go into the jungle and everything. And this woman, oh, I was 59 years old. So when we took the ayahuasca, one of the things that I saw was the history of sculpture, of certain kinds of sculpture. I don't remember it exactly. I just remember that's what it was. And so I saw all the phases of, I mean, that's what it felt like at the time. That's what I would say. So
it was a comprehensive vision.
It's a comprehensive vision, yeah.
It like spans decades or eons, right?
Yeah, it seemed like eons.
Millennium, yeah, of sculpture history.
Yeah. I mean, we just had we covered our bodies with the mud and we all kinds of funny things. So it was quite an experience, to say the least. But I decided not that at the very end I had enough. I couldn't take any more. So and at one point, what was it? I did something. Oh, it was from drinking tobacco juice or something like that. I thought I was a lizard and that I was dying, and I called for the curandero to come because I was dying. And we lived in this. We were in these tents inside this house, each of us, and he came in and he said, "No, no, you're not dying," And I said, "Yes, I'm dying." I said. And I'm just trying to think how that ended exactly, but.
What is a corrodero?
Huh?
What is a corrodero?
Corrodero is like a medicine man. He's the person that administrates whatever you're doing.
Okay.
And so he would be the one to come in and get you and everything. He did something to me, and that took the spell away, whatever it was. But anyway, it was quite an experience. But it's not something that I would want to do all the time, only because it was also a little scary at times. I mean, for me, I have a big eye, but it's like things like that do scare me. So, but I was always somebody that would try things, once.
Yeah.
Did you travel a lot?
Huh?
Did you travel a lot?
Yes, because my father was at West Point, and he was an officer, and he worked in the Pentagon during the war, and then he went overseas during the war.
World War II.
World War II. Yeah, that was the war in my life, and I was born in the Philippines, and then somebody said they went home to the Philippines. Someone who works for me, and it took her 28 hours. Can you imagine? And I said it took me 58 days to get to this country. And I threw up all the way to the United States.
On a boat.
On a boat. My mother said she'd never forget it,
58 days is a good long time.
On a boat where you're going, so maybe that's what happened and they just got things mixed up, I love my mother. My mother went to Pratt, like I said, and she graduated. And that is her flowers right there. And those are two of her student pieces on the right, when she was in school. The last two on the right. And she's good. I mean, very good in that. I mean, women didn't do things like go into school and finish doing all that. I didn't realize it at the time, but it was in the 20s. So um, then she married my father, who was a military. She remembers him on his horse, and she thought, oh, how romantic. And she went to the Wild West and everything else. So there was a difference in cultures, in a sense. But it's it's just that my mother, I'm more of a person who will expose all the sides of myself. And my mother is more proper and correct, traditional in a sense.
Yeah.
And so she you know, any of the fun things that like I did a book of her poetry for her 80th birthday, and I made her a book, and she wouldn't put in one of the poems about how she missed my father who was at war on World War II. And I said, why didn't you put that in the book, Mother? That's perfectly wonderful, a normal feeling that any woman who loved their husband and they go off into this would be feeling sad. I do, you do. Don't wash your dirty linen in public. So, where to me, I thought, that's not dirty linen. To me, that shows that you love the person. And I don't know. And of course, you're going to be worried if they're out someplace where things are, scary, where they could die right away. It's just a difference in age and time, history. I was the rebel kid who came to the family. And well, you got me talking, so this is bad. But anyway, I was going to get married to somebody because I thought that they would. I guess I was going to do what would please my family. They expected me to, and everything. And someone came along in school and said, you look like you're going to a funeral, not a wedding, Nancy. And I said, I thought, oh. She said, well, what is it you really want to do? I want to be an artist. And she said, well, I don't understand why you don't do what you want to do. And I said, and I broke the engagement and came to New York. And I just feel like everybody is who they are. We don't need to pretend or try to be something we're not, whatever that is. And it's perfectly okay to be whoever you are, unless you're going around murdering people or something like that. Then we, can't let you be free. But otherwise, that was it.
Look back.
Huh?
You've never looked back.
No, actually, I haven't. Because I knew that was exactly the truth. That was my truth. And I've never even been sorry about it. And then I'm a doll maker. Then I also make dolls too. So right now I'm taking some of my drawings that I didn't complete, and I'm playing around with. These are pieces of drawings. So I'm thinking about making a collage with some of the pieces. And they're, as long as they're black and white or whatever. And that's a mixture of techniques. It's a self-portrait. So, and then sometimes I have some books over here that I made of paintings hanging from you. And you had a book show not too long ago at the library.
Dale did, yeah.
I didn't know about that, but that's because I've got to get somebody to help me work with my computer. But let me just show you one, okay? You want to come in here? You lay these on a table up in the air. I mean, it's all part of one.
All of these are connected.
Oh no, this one hangs in the ceiling, hangs on the wall. I think because of this. Or you could have some of it hang on the wall and some of it could be down, It's in little pieces, And so they're all different, but there's about 6 or 8 of them. I don't know which. Well, this one is a painting. These are.
This all one book?
This is all one book.
That's huge. Oh, wow.
Anyway, it goes on.
It does go on.
And then I have, this is something you could put it in an odd place, I mean, if you put something like this. But it's a big face. And this is probably at a distance a big. So there's this whole family, a whole bunch of them, And and then these are more abstract expressionist kind of, and so on and so forth. You know, like the big eyeball. And Mrs. Ford. And I think we made a wall hanging for them to tell them how much garbage there was in our area. I really, so Madame Curie for me was my ideal. And I had a closet that I mixed all kinds of concoctions in because I was going to be Madame Curie. But I didn't realize it was art, that was because I actually messed up a lot of my chemistry stuff. You know,
Making art.
well, my cousin actually blew up a lab.
Oh my